So, you're Ragnar Lothbrok, born into a legendary bloodline, with Sigurd Ring as your dad and Alfhild as your mom. No big deal, just your average Viking royalty. Your father? A king who's so legendary, he's basically on speaking terms with Odin. Your mother? Noble as hell. But hey, no pressure, right? You're just destined to either be godlike or fail spectacularly. The name Lothbrok came from the time you decided a giant serpent wasn't gonna kill your vibe. You slapped on some magic pants, killed the beast, and bam, legend status. But spoiler alert, you're not done. You've got ambition, and that's going to ruin your life in the most epic way possible. So yeah, enjoy the ride. So, you're Ragnar, and you've just decided that a shield maiden sounds like a good idea for a wife. Lagertha, the badass warrior, catches your eye. Naturally, you prove you're worthy by killing a bear and a hound because, well, that's how Vikings flirt. And she's impressed. You marry her, have some kids, and for a while, things are perfect, at least by Viking standards. But hold on, here comes the twist. You get bored. Turns out Lagertha's pride rubs you the wrong way. Maybe she's a little too independent for your taste, and you think, what's the worst that could happen? Well, you divorce her, of course, and move on. No big deal, right? Except now you've got a reputation for breaking hearts, and you're just getting started. Stay tuned, because the saga of your love life, it's about to get messy. Now you're on to wife number 2, and you think, hey, things can only get better, right? Enter Thora, a noble woman with a bit of a reputation. You kill a dragon, because of course you do, to win her hand. This should be the beginning of your happily ever after, right? Well, not exactly. Thora and you get married, and for a while, you're riding high on victory and fame. But surprise, she dies. That's right. You go from dragon-slaying hero to grieving husband in record time. Instead of mourning quietly like a sane person, you do what any self-respecting Viking would do. You throw yourself into war. Nothing says, I'm okay, like raiding a few villages, right? So, after losing your second wife, you're ready to dive back into the chaos. Who needs peace when you've got legacy? So now you're on to wife number 3, and she's a keeper, literally. Aslaug, daughter of Sigurd and Brynhild. Yeah, the mythical ones. And she's got magic powers. Pretty impressive, right? But here's the kicker. This is no fairy tale. You marry her, and suddenly, it's not just about you anymore. It's about sons. Lots of them. All destined for greatness. But don't get too excited. This is the Viking world, so expect drama. Your sons, especially Ivar the Boneless, will eventually plot their own legacies. And guess what? They don't always play nice with each other. The tension's already building. Your own blood may soon be your biggest threat. But hey, that's what happens when you marry someone godly. Expect divine chaos. And you? Well, you're stuck in the middle of this family tornado, hoping your legacy survives. Spoiler, it doesn't. Alright, you've made a name for yourself, and now it's showtime. You decide to raid Paris, the city of riches and fancy French people. Spoiler, it goes very well. You bust in, sacks full, and cause so much chaos that the Franks are probably still having therapy sessions about it. You basically turn Paris into your personal ATM. The locals are terrified, and you're laughing all the way to the bank. But here's the thing, nothing is ever enough. Sure, you've conquered a city, but now what? You've set the bar way too high, and now everyone's expecting you to top this. And let's face it, with your lifestyle, the only thing left is downfall. Paris might be a win, but guess what? The real price is coming, and it's not going to be as fun as this raid. You've just started digging your own grave. Congrats, Ragnar. You've conquered Paris and raided England. Now you're officially the guy everyone loves to fear. But here's the kicker. Success is a trap. You're constantly thinking, I've done this. What's next? More raids, more riches, more fame. You keep expanding your empire, taking out monasteries, terrorizing villages, and living the Viking dream. But now, every single Viking around you expects more. Sure, you're a brilliant strategist, but those pesky kings and their armies are getting really tired of you showing up. You start realizing that each new conquest is just a way to prove you're not done yet. The more you take, the more people expect from you. It's a never-ending race, and if you stop, if you relax for 1 second, someone else will take your throne. Yeah, being on top is great, until it's not. You'll soon wish you were just fighting a few bears again. Well, you've had a nice run. You've raided, conquered, and lived the Viking dream. But then, boom, you get caught by King Ella of Northumbria. Yeah, remember that guy? He's the one who finally gets you, despite all your genius-level strategies. No more glorious battles, no more enemy heads on pikes, just betrayal and captivity. But wait, it gets better. Instead of a quick, merciful death, Ella decides to throw you into a pit of snakes, like actual snakes. You're Ragnar Lothbrok, and your grand finale involves being slowly devoured by reptiles in the most humiliating way possible. This is it, the hero of 1,000 raids, and you're dying in a pit. But hey, at least it's dramatic, right? Ragnar Lothbrok, legendary king and total idiot for trusting his own immortality. You've just been murdered in the most embarrassing way possible. But don't worry, your sons are here to avenge you. Enter Ivar the Boneless, who decides it's time to turn the great heathen army into an emotional wrecking ball. these kids didn't just mourn your death, they decided to take revenge like they were auditioning for a revenge thriller. They form an army, invade England, and guess who's the first on their hit list? King Ella. And the best part? They torture him to death using your favorite party trick, the Blood Eagle. Nice touch, right? But here's the thing. Your sons might get revenge, but the violence doesn't stop. Now your legacy is a chain of bloodshed, betrayal, and endless war. Congrats, Ragnar. Your death was just the beginning of the mess. You thought you were done? Think again. So you've been murdered in a pit of snakes? Your sons have avenged you by turning England into their personal bloodbath, and now it's time to think about your legacy. How will history remember you? As a hero? A ruthless warlord? Or a guy who got eaten alive by snakes in his final moments? Sure, your name lives on, but guess what? It's not all glory. Your sons carry your legacy, but they're also making things worse. Ivar's torturing kings, Bjorn's conquering lands, and now the Viking world's stuck in a never-ending cycle of bloodshed. Your quest for immortality has turned into a dynasty of chaos and violence. Great job, Ragnars. You wanted glory, but all you got was a curse that passed down to your kids. Congratulations, your legacy is a never-ending war. So yeah, you are a legend. Enjoy the consequences.